go with the basic ideas that Eric said. If the comparable photo has a for sale sign in front of it, or if it's covered in snow and the appraiser did the appraisal in summer, let's go ahead and put a finding on there now. And maybe we can work on getting a list of who will accept what. That might take a little bit of research. So.
Well, but also in your AR, there's a line in that certification page that says, I have personally inspected the subject and comparable properties. So if they're using an MLS photo, then that probably is meaning they didn't inspect it. But there's no way for us to tell. I mean, if the MLS photo was taken in the spring and the appraiser inspected it in the spring, there's no way for us to know.
Can they not use an MLS if they can't get a clear picture of the house? Like if it's down
Yeah, if it's in a gated subdivision. But usually the appraiser is going to explain that.
Yeah.
You know, I've had to use the MLS photo because it's in a gated subdivision, I can't get at it, you know. Or it's in a subdivision where the road wasn't plowed when I got there and I couldn't get to it. Or there was a big nasty dog in front of the house, yeah. Or when I went to take the picture, there were 10 people standing on the front porch and they looked like they were going to come after me, you know.
Now, that raises another question, because I know that some lenders will not accept any pictures with any people in it at all.
Mm-hmm.
Is that across the board, or is that a lender-specific kind of thing?
Usually it's anything that would identify the property as those big no words, you know, as urban, slum, or anything that's going to identify racial composition or anything like that. But if the appraiser's used an MLS photo and he's explained why, then I think we're okay. I think we're okay.
So I just want to make sure I understand again. When I look at some of these clear photos and I look at the PDF and it's blurry, they're not clear, and what do we agree on that I need to do?
We'll make a canned answer. It'll be an informational finding.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
One last question, comment on what we were talking about. I remember when we would order appraisals, we specifically were told that we need to have somebody there to let the appraiser guy in, or else it wasn't going to work. That's what we were told to do, and we were very clear about that. We talked to the customer, we got a dog or a guy or something. So then, is that right? We said then, because I was told if it can't have, we can't get in there, we can't use that.
For the subject property, yes.
We're talking about the comps.
Oh, just
Yeah, we're just talking about the comps, yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, for the subject property, yes. Those requirements are still there. They have to take their exterior photos, have to take all the interior photos, they all have to be there.
Okay.
Yeah, we're just talking about the comps. Okay, final reconciliation. This one came off of the desk review form. It's kind of nebulous. I don't know if I like this the way it stands, but I think if we've answered all of these questions up above line 51, then we can probably answer yes to the value estimate has been supported by sound reasoning and data. If we have no questions on line item adjustments greater than 10%, an unsatisfactory explanation on gross and nets that exceed 25 or 15, then I think we can answer this one no. But this question is probably going to be answered for us by the time we get to line 51. We're going to get rid of line 52, scratch it. Line 53 is pretty self-explanatory. Okay, a lot of you had questions on line 54 and line 55. It's asking the same thing. I agree. I've scratched line 54. Change line 55 to read, is the appraiser currently licensed or certified in the same state as the subject property?
Okay. We're still going to require a copy of the license, right?
Yes.
Just certification on the signature page is good enough.
No.
Okay. Oh.
Well, there's no way to verify if they're currently licensed without a copy of their current license.
They can type whatever they want on that page. So, okay, yeah.
I thought there was something about people stealing.
No. Fannie and Freddie require a copy of the license with the
Every
appraisal.
once in a while I see appraisers who say that they don't provide it with a copy of their appraisal. But isn't it it's the lender's responsibility to then get a copy of it and maintain it in their office.
Yeah.
And be able to provide it for us. Yeah. Okay.
Well,
And that does happen, where the banks and stuff like that,
Oh, yeah.
they keep a file of appraisal license.
Yeah.
I noticed South Carolina has a certificate that the appraisers in South Carolina fill out, but it's not the license. It's like what you're saying. So then we're not going to, for South Carolina, everyone I see from South Carolina, their license is not there. They have this funky certificate that says, you know, here's my
Is it a signed certificate?
Yeah.
That's
But
fine.
it's not the license itself. So
That's fine.
I want to clarify. Is that going to work?
Well, sometimes I see printouts from the state database that says, you know, this is the appraiser's license number and expiration date. I take those.
Okay. So it's not the actual, literal actual license.
So, yeah, so it may be different per state on what they require
Okay.
their certification.
Okay, 56. We already addressed that up on top. I think that's probably a redundant question.
We'll combine those.
We can combine that question
Yeah.
from the one up on top. Yeah, 56 and 57 are just that we did a separate 1004 MC section in the report, but those are redundant.
Okay,
So,
yeah, I'll combine those.
I mean, we can get rid of either one. We can leave these here and get rid of the ones up on top, or whichever. Number 58, that just goes back to what we were talking about earlier. The appraiser has to have all of those photos in there, and I think from an underwriting standpoint, if they're not legible and we can't make them out, then that probably needs to be an informational finding.
Yeah. I think we'll combine all of our photo questions all into one little area. So.
That gets to the end of our list. Is there anything else that, any questions anybody had about things that maybe should be on the list that aren't?
I have some requests.
Yes.
Can we get some questions on there about 2 to 4 family properties?
Yes.
Both as, I mean, there are different scenarios if it's owner-occupied versus non-owner-occupied. I get that, but typically you're going to need your rent schedule and you're going to need your income.
Maybe what I can do, Jill, because we haven't done this yet, I can just come up with, because there is a 2 to 4 family review form, just come up with a different set of questions instead of adding them on here and having to answer NA all the time. We can just come up with another set for 2 to 4 family properties.
Yeah, and those could be live when the property type is selected.
Yeah, that's good.
For the audit. Yeah.
And then the other one might be a little bit further information on manufactured homes.
Okay.
Both conventionally and FHA. I don't know I personally don't know if they're similar enough that you could just do one set of questions.
There is a separate review form for manufactured housing. So I'll go over that and see if we can incorporate it into the single family report without too much trouble. If not, then we can just create a separate list for that. Most of them are going to be the same. It's just going to be additional questions.
Commonly what I see on manufactured homes are obviously the distance, because typically they're in rural areas. But again, you know, I kind of find myself going, okay, so any kind of guidance that you could give us on those questions would be helpful too.
Okay.
Just because they're not common.
Like the sticker numbers and all that.
Well, the sticker numbers, that's all on the appraisal report already.
Well, and then location, distance,
Yeah,
and
we're not familiar with the area.
yeah.
And like I had a triple wide the other day, and he couldn't find any triple wide comps, but the comps were already 20 miles away. But one of them only had 5 acres, and the other ones had 30 acres. And I'm just going, how?
Yeah.
I went at a total loss.
Also, what about the scenario when you, every now and then you'll get a manufactured home that's been added on to, so you have manufactured home and you have stick built together.
I love that. When you get tired, they're nicer than hurricanes. Trust me, I know that.
Trudy?
yes.
How do you want us to address if it isn't a single-family investment and you don't have the question regarding the Form 216 or 1007?
I'm going to add that question.
Okay.
That's going to go, I think we're going to add those under that question that talks about, has the income approach been completed? If that's answered yes, we're going to have 2 or 3 questions below that talking about the rent schedule, operating income statement, and gross rent multiplier calculation. So yeah, there needs to be 2 or 3 questions after that if that's marked yes.
Okay, and the 120 days, are we going to have one for if it's new construction that's over 120 days and they have a recert, or well, what they used to call the recert of value?
Yeah, I'll fix that one.
Okay.
What does that question say? It says 120 days without proper certification,
Sure,
right?
Yeah, that's what currently says.
Appraisal is not over 120 without proper recertifications.
Yeah, we just need to expand on that just a little bit, so I'll fix that.
Hey, we have a question.
Say again?
At 180 days on new?
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, our turn. Go ahead. Answer.
Hey, anybody else?
Yes, we do.
On number 34, can we have that reworded to is reported effective age greater than the loan term? Because as it is right now, if we answer it appropriately, it's backwards.
Yeah, that needs to be reworded. And everybody, please stop telling me that it's over 30 years. I don't really care if it's over 30 years. I took that finding off 5 times in the last hour.
Is reported effective age greater than the loan term?
Yeah.
Much longer we go on? It'll be a while?
No, we're almost done. We're just doing question and answer.
Okay.
And before that was just FHA. Is that conventional as well?
Say again?
Before the question was only applicable if it was an FHA.
Oh, yeah.
Only if
They don't put the effective age on the conventional.
So we
Okay.
need to add that back in.
So we'll add that back in, only applicable to FHA or VA, right? Okay. Anybody else? Okay, we're done. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right, bye.